welcome to our lovely series about home business journeys. And today I welcome my lovely friend Alexandra Bekavac, and she is a sworn translator and interpreter. But on top of that, she's many other things, and we are going to talk about that in detail today because her journey is very interesting. Especially because she now works from home as a translator. And we want to know a lot about that and how everything happened and how it came together. So welcome, Alexandra. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you, Manu, for having me and for giving me the possibility to share my experience with your audience.
Well, I'm very glad you agreed to do this, and I'm very excited to find out, yes, more about your amazing journey. So let's get started with the first question. I think, first of all, it would be interesting for people to understand how you started with translation, because I guess that was always your passion, languages and cultures. Oh yeah, by the way, you are obviously an intercultural expert as well, which we're going to talk about later. But I think because languages and cultures are so interconnected anyway, that will come out when you talk about your journey. So please tell us how it all started.
Okay, well, how did everything start? In the first place, I studied languages, Spanish and French, based on translation, really. And I finished with registering myself at the court as a sworn and official translator, which is basically what you do in Germany when you are an official sworn translator. That means that you can also translate official documents for authorities, or if you have a title from a foreign country, then it will be recognized with the translation that I do, and so on and so on. Mm-hmm. So that was an important step of my career, because nowadays what I do is most of my translations are sworn translations and official translations.
Okay.
Okay, and after I studied that career, I decided for myself that I wanted to gain some practical experience, because I for myself could say that after university I was a bit lost in the practical things. I had a lot of theory, I knew a lot of the languages I studied, but I didn't really know what to do with it. So I started working in the hotel business. Later, I worked in the pharmaceutical field as an assistant of the general manager, where I could learn a lot of PR work and a lot also of IT tools and skills, which nowadays are very important also for my job. So I think it's not the wrong way to maybe first work for a company and later see if you would like to work as a freelancer, because you can use everything you learn somewhere else as well for yourself. But obviously that's something everyone has to decide for himself. As well, I think there's a possibility to work for a company and besides work at home, and then see how it works if you are not the risky type of person. In my case, that applied, because I always worked for companies and I was very happy doing that, actually. But besides, I always got jobs from the court, actually, because if you're registered in Germany, then you have an online presence via the court, where all the sworn translators from the area are listed. So I got inquiries without really looking for them or asking for them, and I thought it would have been not very smart for myself not taking those jobs. So I always took them. It was nice money beside my real work or job. So that was basically doing it in the time where I was working for companies. Then what happened was that really all of a sudden my husband became very keen on knowing everything of Google and how Google world works. And then he found out about Google Ads, which is basically the payment method of Google to get some people seeing or knowing your homepage.
Yeah.
So what he did actually was to create a website on a blog system. Really was a very basic website, only to have an online presence. And for him it was more playing around. So obviously I was always nights or weekends seeing what he was doing, and I was very into it because I am the expert on knowing what my clients are looking for. I mean, for Google Ads, what you really need to know is you need to know your clients and what they want, because you have to put yourself in your clients' shoes and think about what would they search when they look for a foreign translator or for an intercultural expert, and so on and so on. And well, while he was doing that, I got more and more people and more requests asking for translations, really.
Wow.
Until the point where I said, okay, I have to decide if I say no to a lot of people or if I still go to my working place. And I think many of us want to know if they can do it on their own, if maybe what they do is also enough for themselves, and if you don't have to do it for someone else. So I was at that point at that moment, and I said, okay, let's do it. Obviously for me it was not so difficult because I already had a base of clients in that moment. But I would like to share that information, that in my case, the first clients and the first jobs really came across Google, across internet, and across a website, which was, as I said, a basic website and a blog system. But what it had was, it had good content, and it had the keywords which are important for people who look for it. So for everyone who thinks that's too technique or they don't know what I'm talking about, I totally understand, because I was the same. If you don't have someone at your side who says, I want to do it for you, or you're not interested yourself in that topic, that is not a problem, because there's so many agencies, so many companies. I think you yourself do it as well. You help people to get a better ranking of the website, and I think it's really worth it to invest some money in that, because you get so much more out of it. That would be my advertisement on that, or not advertisement, my suggestion. That was the word. Sorry, I'm not a native speaker, so I lose the words. My suggestion, really, my recommendation, and what I can tell from my experience in my personal case.
Wow.
Also,
great.
I would like to add that you can see that what develops after time as a freelancer is that you see things that you can also do a part of the main business. In my case, a part of translations, and you will find out, and you will get an expert in a lot of fields that you are interested in, and you should always work on that. Maybe read more about it, get more into it. Whenever you don't have jobs or you don't have orders, you can always work on that, and you will be able to offer much more than you think in the beginning.
So can I ask you about that a bit more? So you obviously, once your website was up and people found you on Google with the key terms that they put in, you got more inquiries, and that meant more contracts, I guess, or more projects, and more money, obviously, as well coming in. So that worked out really well for you. And then, because you just touched on that, saying you can then find other things as well that are kind of connected with what you do. So how did you find, or how did you develop that intercultural interest in, maybe being a consultant kind of thing? Can you tell us a bit more about how that came about?
Yes, sure. Very happy to tell you about that, because I'm passionate about that topic. In my case, it was so that doing the translation was not really fulfilling me for 100%. It was good for making money, and I liked the part of it that I knew that I was helping people. For example, I focused on the university degrees, and more on educational stuff, because I noticed that I really liked it.
Yeah.
And so I became more and more students, or more and more people who came to Germany to work, and I could see how insecure they were, how they didn't know the system, how they had so many questions, and they asked me in the first place because I could speak Spanish, and that was for them easier. And then I learned that they were so happy to have someone who spoke their language and to ask the question in their own language. Obviously, if you come to Germany, you cannot expect that you go to a place, to an official German place where they speak your language. So I could see from my experience that it was helpful to talk to them in their own language, and I realized more and more that so many things were not natural to them, which were for us in Germany. For example, they didn't even know where to find the information to get the recognition, or how do you say, if the title?
Yes,
the admission of the title and everything. And that was easy things, really, but I understand if you're somewhere else, it's not that easy. Some things are not so natural to you than for someone who lives really in the country. That were the first steps, actually. And then as well, when I started to work for companies, I noticed that there were companies who were working with Latin America, and they told me then, when we talked about the project or we talked about the job, what their problems were with handling things with Latin America, where I thought for myself, okay, they're so obvious, but then I noticed, no, they're not, because they're obvious for me, because I grew up as a daughter of a Mexican and a German, so I have always had that in me. But as soon as it gets to business, there's so many codes that you should know, really, and then I could see that I was a real expert without knowing it. Because I could answer all those questions. I could see how the other side always said, like, oh wow, really, that helped, and the feedback. And that was the start for me to say, okay, I think I can offer a real program. I can offer maybe a real class on that topic, or do some quick trainings. That was the first thing. But besides the intercultural training, I noticed also that I love writing. So I started to write blogs as well. And that's something I would also recommend. If you like writing, then that's something that really helps in the online world, to write something about you are an expert, or about something you are passionate about, because you can now easily find information in the internet. You can go somewhere and look at the place if you write about trips or places. But also, in my case, if it's about intercultural things, then you can try to share that with a community who was interested in, and show yourself as an expert, and that will help you again to people find you and what you're doing.
Yeah, that's a very good point, and I like how you explained that journey, because I think that can apply to many different things as well. Like,
of course,
no matter what kind of profession you have, or what interests you have, they can always be combined, I guess, or there is always a demand for something that you might be able to cater to. And it's what I find interesting about it is that your background helped you with that as well. So, obviously you growing up with a Mexican mother and a German father, and having, both cultures teaching you things, and obviously the languages as well. It's just a perfect combination, and I think it's so great that you discovered that, and now you can use that as well to I suppose offer additional services apart from just translating, which is amazing.
That's true, yes. And as I said, I think as well, to get again to the blog theme, or what I also discovered is that I like, for example, collaborations. In this case, I mean, you do the interview with me, but I noticed that it's also very helpful for my audience to present people they don't know, and who are experts in a field I'm not, but who just related to my field. And if you like doing that, I mean, I like really communication. I like elaborating also concepts for an interesting interview or for an interesting topic, then you should go for it. And maybe the first interview, the first thing you do is not perfect, but you will get better and better, and then you will see if it's yours or not. And that's the great thing about being a freelancer. You can always try new things, and you can also see immediately the result.
Yeah.
And my recommendation is that you should go for what you like, for what you love, for what you're interested in. Even if you don't see what it can bring at the moment, or if it makes money, it shouldn't be the drive. The drive is always to think, do I like what I do? And you will get automatically an expert on that. As you just said, I mean, I was an expert without knowing it even. And it's something I really like and I understand. So you can be, and I'm sure you are an expert on many fields as well. I know that you are, but there might also be other fields that you haven't even discovered until today. So just follow your heart, follow your dreams. Really, it's the real topic of it. Follow what you like to do, and you will see it will come along without even noticing it.
Yeah, I think this is what I hear from a lot of people that I talk to who decided to do their own thing after they worked in companies or had full-time jobs. They find that one big interest that they have, and they want to pursue it, and they want to follow it, and I think everybody does it in a different way, but I think your journey is interesting because it shows that you weren't sure about it, but then once your husband put up the website and you saw there is actually a demand there and people are looking for services that you can offer, you realized, okay, I can really do this. I can really do this myself. And then you decided to, just do it on your own. And I think that's a beautiful thing that you got that drive really to do that as well. So so I think the one thing that we haven't talked about yet, but you have mentioned it briefly, was also the blogging, and I want to kind of and the networking, and I want to kind of like go a bit more into detail about that. So so once your website was up and you had people contacting you, so how did you change your website then? And how did you add the blogs? Did you do some research about what people were interested in? And the same also for your social media networks as well. If you can explain a bit more how you kind of built your online, I guess, your online presence in a way as a translator to establish your name more.
Well, in my case, I can say that Latin American people, I have noticed with time, look a lot through Facebook for experts. So people told me, or friends, that someone was looking in a group for a translator, and I heard that a lot. And then I said, okay, well, that might be true. And then I started to go into more and more groups related to my topic. For example, Mexicans in Germany or Hispanic people in Germany. And in the first place, I just looked what they were talking about in the groups, and I could see their concerns and their worries. And then I started to answer questions. So I got to, so people got to know me and knew what I was doing, and they were grateful, thankful for the help as well. It helps you yourself, because sometimes you don't know the answer, but you can look for it do some research, and so you are learning for yourself and for your work as well. And very soon I understood that I had to have a Facebook presence as well. And the good thing about Facebook is it is for free, so you can do your company website there, not website, but your company
page,
company page on Facebook. And I like it a lot because you can do so many things with it without paying, and you can see also the immediate result of it. I mean, you see if people react on what you posted, and if you're interested in your business, you can see what kind of posts are the ones who get the most likes. In my case, for example, I noticed that people do a lot of likes if they see you in person. So people like pictures of myself doing my work. I specialized as well on showing what I'm doing in my everyday working life.
Mm-hmm.
But also, do I share interesting tips or things which I see somewhere else, which might be interesting for people following me?
Mm-hmm.
And what I like about Facebook as well is that there also you have the possibility of advertisement ads. That this is the payment method as well, but if you see that a post is really successful and you see good comments, then it's sometimes interesting to do the ad. That's something that Facebook offers you as well. If they see it works good, then they say, hey, what about doing this as an advertisement? And I did it with one article, with a blog article, which was quite well rated. And then I did the ad with Facebook, and I got, I think, 100 likes, which is a lot for my page because I don't have so many followers. So I could see it had around maybe 50% more likes than before. So people got to know me. I think it was an interesting topic, and I could see that they liked the blog, and people got to my homepage. So and that helps again to rank your page if people click on your website. But also there are experts who can tell you how to deal with the whole thing. How did I get to blogs? I think it was because I myself was reading blogs, and then I thought, okay, someone, for example, was writing about a topic which I thought I could do better. That was really the beginning, because it was a topic which I knew. It was, I think, also something with intercultural training, and there were things which were too basic in from my point of view. And then I thought, I think I can do a bit better article for my page, and that's how it started. And then I saw that people really liked what I wrote, and also I started to comment that in my with my friends, with people I knew, and that was where also I got jobs for blogging, because then someone said, okay, could you write maybe that and that? And I started. The first article I wrote, the first blog article I wrote actually was for free, because I only wanted to see how the reaction is. I didn't know, do I do it good writing or not? If you do it for your website, you never really know. And they were really happy with it. And then until today, I work with my first blog client and write blog for them, right? And through them, I got more clients again. So that's an additional way to earn some money.
But that's amazing too. You know, it shows how kind of different opportunities come from just putting yourself out there, and as you say, showing yourself and the work you do on social media can definitely help to create an awareness, I guess, and make people find you easier, I guess.
Yes, sorry to interrupt. I would like to add something important. What we were talking about, the networking. As I said, the groups are important in Facebook or in social media, but also the personal interaction is quite important. So whenever it's possible to tell what you're doing, tell people. I mean, it's not about saying, I'm so great, I'm doing that and that. No, but if you are talking about something, just say, don't be too shy or afraid to say what you're doing, because you live from what you are doing. And people might find it helpful, and not only seeing you advertising yourself. And the more people you tell what you're doing, the more people will get to know you, and it's basically for free. So that's also something I would tell everyone to do, networking, but also talk about what you're doing.
So I think because you are passionate about what you do, and because it is kind of part of your identity in a way, because, you know, you are half Mexican, half German, it's just natural for you to talk about it anyway. So it's not like you're trying to sell yourself to people. It's just you as a person. And I think that's why it's authentic as well. And people feel that you are an expert because you are naturally.
But not talking about myself, but for everyone. I think if you are a freelancer, usually you do something you really like, because otherwise you would work for a company, I guess.
Yeah.
Or you gain so much money that you don't even have to like your topic, but then you don't have to do any networking because then everything's done. So let's say you do something you really like and you are a freelancer because you want to do what you really love. You will always be passionate about it, and you will always be authentic, and that will work also for you, not only for me in my case.
Yeah. Great tips. Lovely. I mean, yeah, I think what we learned from your story is to follow your heart, as you said, and
yes,
to do something that you love doing every day. So, you know, I assume you're very happy with how it is right now. But I also know you never stand still, and I know you're going to explore different avenues. So that will be exciting for us to watch as well. So do you want to tell us a bit about any future plans, or how are you thinking of exploring other avenues as well, or are you happy with how it is right now?
Yeah, that's an interesting question, because actually now we're going through a phase in the world where I think everyone might, or not everyone, but a lot of people might think about what is their role in this world, or what they want to do with their future lives. I think we are a happy generation, or not a happy, a lucky generation, because we can always explore ourselves in new ways, because everything is so fast and everything is changing. So I think for some people that might be a bit too busy, but for people like us, it's nice because we have so many options, right?
Yeah.
So I would not say I'm going to do that for the rest of my life, but it's so exciting to see that I can gain money with what I like. And also a tip which I would like to add is that you should do what you like, also for free in the beginning, maybe, as I did with my blog. Because if you are not sure if you are good in what you're doing, then you can offer it for free, or you can try to get better in that field. Like for if you like acting and you want to be an actor, then and you can tell yourself, maybe I'm not too good. Well, okay, do a workshop, and after that you can see if you're. That's a good thing about today. We have so many options.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
And that's something which I think is also important, maybe to offer your services if it's not a too big investment, for free, so people get to know you as well and see the quality of your work. So what's the future for me? I can't tell, really. I mean, I do what I like, I do what I love, and it works well for me. But as I told you, there are many advantages of being a freelancer. For example, that you can, in my case, you can work from everywhere in the world. So that gives you a freedom you cannot find in a company. But also the crisis of COVID, of Corona, showed me that in this phase of my life, I think I would like to have some
Sorry?
Stabilität in English.
Stability, stability.
Yeah. I'm looking for a bit stability. So I think, as I mentioned in the beginning, that for the moment, for me, it would feel good to do some hours in a company, but also to follow what I do as a freelancer.
Yeah.
So that I have both, and that's the nice thing, that you don't have to leave something to get something else. It's only a win-win.
Yeah, I think that's a good point you're making there, because I think a lot of people start out with their passion first part-time, so they will have a job and a full-time income, but they will then explore as a hobby or something, and then if they feel, actually, I can really earn an income with this if I started doing it full-time, obviously with the work that you have to do beforehand. So as you said, like, you didn't just jump into it, you slowly built the website first, did the research and everything. And I know from my other friends, they also started doing it as a hobby first, and they built it, they networked with people, they built, their reputation. And then when they felt, okay, now it's time to do it full time, they went into doing it full time. But the other option is to do it part-time as well. And I think that's what I'm doing. And I think that's what a lot of people are doing as well, to still have a full-time job, which is secure, and then to explore the passion on the side. And when you're ready, you can do it full-time, I guess. So yeah, it's really interesting to see how that unfolds. And I thank you so much for sharing it with us. Because
Thank you for listening.
think it's very, you raised some really important points for people who might just be starting or who don't know really what to do about their passion yet and how can they get started. So I think if I can just go back to your main points, so building a website, doing SEO, which we at ClickDo offer as well, and we have lots of courses about that as well. And I think blogging as well, as you said, just to, I mean, obviously not everybody is into writing, but for a website, it really helps to boost the website and also to get people to understand what you do better.
Yeah.
Because in your blog articles, you describe it more and you give tips, expert tips and things like that. So I think depending on what you're doing about, you know, depending on the industry, it can be really helpful to blog about it as well. It doesn't have to be lots of words. If you're a photographer, it can just be a kind of like a photography blog where you mainly post pictures, I guess, or something.
Or if you're a singer, you can sing a song.
Yes, exactly. You just put up videos of yourself or an actor. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, great tips. And also about the social media and networking, I think those were really good points you raised there. And on ClickDo, we also offer a lot of information about social media marketing. So yeah, it was really great insights that you shared with us here today, Alexandra, and I appreciate you taking the time to speak to us today. And yeah, we will definitely follow you and we will continue to be part of your exciting journey. So thank you very much for the interview.
Very happy that I could share my experience, and I hope I could help some people to listen to their inner voice. Thank you, Manu.
Oh, yes, definitely. And yeah, I will put the details under this video about where to find Alexandra.
Obviously. Happy to hear you all, guys.
Okay, so thank you very much and
thank you.
all the best.